Welcome guys, this is Jamie Lewis from domainerelite.com, and I'm going to show you today the reasons why your domain will sell or will not sell. The first factor that's going to come down to is if your domain is priced correctly. Just like anything else for sale, you want to make sure that people aren't going to laugh at your auction or your listing if you've totally misrepresented the value of your domain. In other words, you don't want to scam people, guys. If your domain is only worth $10, then you should price it at $10. If it's worth $10,000, then you can price it at $10,000. Now, we're going to get into exactly what makes a domain valuable, but that is the first aspect that I wanted to talk about, which is very, very important. You have to be honest. You have to appraise your domain, and you have to represent your domain. In other words, explain what makes the domain valuable in all of your points and make a good case in your listing or at your auction. The second factor is if it's pronounceable. For instance, if you have an auction where you're selling a domain that has 5 characters, well, that's cool. It's a really short domain. But is it pronounceable? For instance, is your domain 5 characters, and if you were to pronounce it, it sounds like abisec.com. What? If you're on a radio station, you say, hey, go to my website, abisec.com. Or if you were to tell someone at a party, yeah, I'm the proud owner of abisec.com. What? The person is going to say, what? How do you say that? Therefore, it's not going to be worth as much as a domain that is pronounced elite.com. That would be cool, right? And it's an actual word. You can pronounce it. If you were to say, hey, I own elite.com, you'd be like, oh, wow, I'm going to go check that out. Instead of, what? How do you spell that? Also, usually, but not all the time, you don't want to do dashes in between 2 words. Like, for instance, real-estate or realestate-books.com. Try to get realestatebooks.com. Sometimes a dash will be okay. Like, for instance, if you got business-opportunities.com, you might be able to rank that for business opportunities. Same thing with dog-training.com. It might be able to rank for the keyword dog training. But without getting myself into trouble here and giving you information overload, I'd like you to keep that opportunity open, but please try to find dogtraining.com before you find dog-training.com. And this next aspect is pretty important as well. When you go to sell this domain, in other words, flip it for money, you want to target it towards the right buyers. If you're going to promote it on Flippa, that's cool. There's all sorts of people on Flippa that are going to want to buy your domain. But how are you promoting that auction, and where are you promoting it? For instance, if you drop a link into a group on Facebook that's interested in internet marketing domains, and you've got a really good one, then you're going to have targeted traffic looking for your internet marketing domain. If you're selling a dog training domain, well, then it would be a very good idea to find an internet marketing group or some type of area on the internet, whether it's a YouTube channel or whatever it is, for people who are marketers but specialize in the niche of dog training. Do you follow what I'm saying? Another way of targeting your domain is by doing outbound calls to businesses who might be interested in a domain like NewYorkCityLawyers.com. If you have a geo-targeted domain like that, the best way to sell it is either by contacting people in New York City that are in that area, in that niche, in other words, attorneys, or you can get on the phone and call them. There's also such things as attorney boards, where there's forums with a bunch of attorneys talking. And heck, that's just an example. Of course, you know how many professions there are. There's car dealerships, and there's all sorts of occupations that people have, where people might really be interested in your domain, especially if it's targeted towards a certain area. The reason they're going to be very interested in buying it from you is because people are going to Google and they're typing in New York City lawyers, and they're looking to hire a lawyer. So if they were to obtain that domain name, New York City Lawyers, it's going to be able to rank easily in the search engines, and it's going to be an authoritative piece of digital real estate. Now really quick, let me tell you about the reasons why your domains aren't selling. Yes, lucky guess, you're probably breaking some or all of those rules. Or you could have made sure that your domain was pronounceable, it was correct English, correct grammar, didn't have dashes or numbers or misspellings. It's an actual niche, it's an actual keyword. Your domain is great, but how come you didn't get any bids? Well, I'm not telling you to buy those big promotional packages at the big auction websites, unless you want to. They actually do work to get you a lot of traffic, but they're kind of expensive, right? What if you're not on a budget like that? What if you just wanted to spend 10 bucks and you wanted to flip it for 1,000 bucks, right? Like you see us do in the videos. Well, you remember the last rule that I went over? Say you post your domain on Flippa and you're really confident that it's going to sell. It's awesome, but you don't have the money for those promotional methods. Send traffic at your Flippa listing. Send a lot of it. You have, what, 30 days? Didn't you do a 30-day auction? Say there's no reserve and you got one bid for $1 and you're like, oh my God, I'm actually going to lose money here. No, promote it, baby. Go crazy. All right, you got 30 days. So tomorrow, post on Craigslist. It just popped into my head. I don't know why I said Craigslist. It'd probably actually work if you hit up the computer geek section or something, right? But then also look for those groups. Look for internet marketer groups or domainer groups. All right, you could do that on Facebook, or you could hit the comments on a YouTube video about domains or whatnot, right? Next up, why don't you email some people and tell them about your domain that you have for sale? Email some businesses, email some websites in that niche. You could hit up ClickBank and you could contact everyone on ClickBank who owns a site and is on the marketplace in that niche. But what if you did break some of those rules? What if you bought a domain that was like realestatedone.com? What does done mean? That doesn't make any sense. You need realestatebooks.com, realestatestrategies.com, realestatewebsite.com, realestateplatform.com. Any of those are great. But realestatebox.com, close but no cigar. You see what I'm saying? So let's make sure that you're not thinking of it like, putting words backwards. Like in the English language, you'd probably say things a certain way. You're not going to say things backwards, like Yoda does, for instance. Storeofcameras.com, camerastore.com. Look, I know my examples sound too good to be able to find. Well, that's why Domainer Elite is here. All right, shameful plug. But you get my drift. All right, I'm looking to make sure that everyone who watches this video perhaps gets some better domains, does well, and thrives in our awesome world of domaining. It's the internet gold rush. A lot of the time I go through all the comments on my internet marketing videos, and I look at what people are saying and the way they're discussing things. One of the things I see is that people are always trying to overprice their domains. That's a big one. I recently saw an argument between two people in the comment section of my video where the one guy had tried to tell everyone in the comments, hey, I've got this awesome domain. I'm selling it for 1,000 bucks. And then a few people started to comment and say that your domain sucks. For 1,000 bucks, I could get something that, I could get a 5-word pronounceable domain. And that's partly one of the inspirations for this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And I think this advice is very, very sound. And it's going to get you some results. All right, so stay tuned for more videos. This one was about why your domain is going to sell or why it's not going to sell. And if you'd like to check out any other stuff that I've done, head over to domainerelite.com. This is Jamie Lewis. Thanks for watching.